Okay, so I'm hoping all of you can see my screen. I am in Delta Math as a student. Okay, and over here you can see that I'm going to go over day 3 notes, which is right here in the middle. So what I would recommend is that you also have this open and you're filling in the correct answers as well. That would be the easiest. I'm going to do the same thing I did yesterday. I'm going to take screenshots and mark it up and do my notes right on there. You can follow the same model when you're doing your problems. Okay, so day 3 notes, I'm going to click on the first problem here and bring it up. All right, so the first couple are a quick review from yesterday. I think it's a good idea to kind of do the same thing. So I'm going to take a screenshot. I'm going to work off my screenshot here. Okay, so we're going to find the value of y in the diagram. If I read down here for what I'm supposed to submit, they want the final answer. They're not looking for an equation. So I can go ahead and start writing out what I see, which is going to be 5 y's. So I'll do this right here. 5 y's plus 21 gives me a total for the whole bar of 53. Okay. My work for this is to subtract 21 from both sides, which is going to give me 32. And y is going to equal, I believe, 6.4. Let me double check here. 32 divided by 5 is 6.4. Okay, so that is my work. I'm going to save to photos. Okay, let me go into photos in case you missed it. There it is. Oh, here it is. Okay, so there's my work for this problem. And then I can go ahead into my answer here, and I'm going to type in 6.4 and submit my answer. Before I submit, does anyone have any questions? Is this part starting to click in your head that you're, as you read the word problems, maybe you're starting to see images like this? I think that's really helpful. All right, so I'll submit my answer, and we are correct. All right, so that's a good thing. Okay, so let's go to the next problem. There are 9 problems here, right? Find the value of x in the diagram. Again, I'm going to take a quick screenshot. I'm going to mark it up. So this time now I have only 3 x's. Are equal to 12. That's the total length of the block. Divide both sides by 3. And I think we can see that x is equal to 4. I'll save that one. So I can come in here, I'll put in 4 for my answer, and I can submit. Okay. All right, next problem. Then we move to problems where we had to use parentheses. So instead of just 3 x's, now I'm going to have 4 c plus 6's. So I'll take my screenshot. I'm going to write my equation down. So here I can do it right over here. I can blow this up a little bit. Can I make this bigger somehow? It's kind of annoying that it's so small, but that's okay. We can do 4 c plus 6's equals 94. Take a look at the diagram, take a look at my work. Okay, then I can distribute. So remember, we're going to multiply to get rid of parentheses. 4c plus 24 equals 94. Subtract 24. If I take 70 and divide it by 4, I'm going to get c equals 17.5. I got that by dividing by 4. Okay, I'm going to save my photos. Answer here is 17.5. It would help if I actually put in 17. Submit my answer, and I got it correct. Right, still in review. So we're in review mode. Now we're going to get to problems that you would have gotten on a test that maybe you would have skipped before. And my hope is that maybe you're starting to see these kind of in those blocked type of problems. So under her cell phone plan, Aubrey pays a flat fee of $57.50 per month. And then she's got 4 per gigabyte. Okay, she wants to keep her bill at $75.10. So this is very similar to one we did yesterday. So I'm going to take my screenshot of this. Okay, I'm going to mark this up now. And I'm going to say, okay, the flat fee. So think of this box. In a given month, $57.50, she has to pay no matter what. What we don't know about the rest of what she pays, we can call 4G. And we know that the total of all of this has to be $75.10. So that's the length of her entire bill. So then we can write an equation here, which is what they want in the box. And my equation that I can write could be something like 4G plus $57.50 is equal to $75.10. All right, we will subtract the $57.50. So if I take $75.10 minus $57.50, I'm going to get $17.60 is equal to 4G. Divide both sides by 4, and I get $4.40. Take a look. G is equal to 440. 4.4 gigabytes, in other words. Okay, so I'm gonna save my photo. So we said this was 4G. And they use the letter X. Be careful, you will get this wrong. To determine X, which is the number of gigabytes of data. I use G, I like to use letters that represent the problem, but for Delta Math, if it tells you X, you need to use that. All right, so then we're gonna go back to plus $57.50 is equal to $75.10. And we said our final answer was 4.40. Let's see how we did. And we got it correct. All right, so I'm hoping you're starting to see a pattern with some of these problems.
Could you go back quick? I just
Yeah.
need to look at it.
Hold on, Cam. Boom. How's that?
So the answer should be
Hold on a second. There.
okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay. So then we can go back into here. Now, this isn't so much a paragraph problem. They're going to give you a bunch of information, obviously using bullets, but there's a pattern in terms of there's a total amount, which is like the whole block. There's a given piece that's a set amount. And then there's a per hour or per mile or some sort of per rate. Okay, so when we look at this problem, Serenity has points for on a card for a movie theater. She gets 80 points just for showing up. She gets 11.5 for each visit. And she needs 195 for a free ticket. So as I'm doing this and I am trying to think like the other problems that we've done before, the picture that I have in my head, okay, I'm going to make a block up here, is going to be the fact that she's got 80 points from the get-go and she gets 11.5. And I'm going to use the letter V for the number of visits. And then the total amount of her visits, points that she gets, is 195 to get the free ticket. So my equation, which I have down here, is going to be 80 plus 11.5V equals 195. Then we can solve that equation. We can subtract 80 and we would get 11.5V is equal to 115. And then 115 divided by 11.5 is equal to 10. Right, I'll hit done on this. And then I'm going to go back here and I'm going to type in the 80 plus 11.5. In this case, V, they're switching it up on me with their letters a little bit, is equal to 195. And we said that the number of visits that she needs is 10. That's what we calculated. Let's see if we're right. Yes. Okay. All right. Next problem. All right, so now we have to read carefully and figure out if we're adding, we're subtracting, or what we're doing. Right? So Angel goes to the store to buy chicken. The price per pound of chicken is $4 per pound. He has a coupon for $2.75 off the total. How much would he have to pay to buy 2 pounds of chicken? P is the pounds of chicken. Okay. So P is like cost, how much the total amount is. Okay, so here's what we know in general. I'm going to highlight this information right here. $4 per pound. Okay, that to me translates to 4 times the number of pounds of chicken. Okay, so if you take $4 times however many pounds of chicken he buys, that's the total amount of his cost. But then he has a coupon for $2.75 off. So you can see that here. So that's going to be minus $2.75. You want to deduct that from your final cost. And then that's going to be P pounds of chicken. Cost to buy P pounds of chicken. Okay. Switch this to the letter P for me. Give me 1 second. I'm going to erase this and I'm going to put another word in here, which is going to be cost. Okay. So the cost is going to be to take 4 times the number of pounds minus $2.75. So how much will it cost us for 2 pounds? We would put in 4 times 2 minus $2.75. Most of you can probably do that without really even writing an equation. However, I get 5.25. So in here, this answer is 5.25. Okay. The cost of P pounds is to take the same exact equation and write 4P minus 2.75. So notice what I'm doing here. I'm using actual numbers to calculate a single cost of 2 pounds, but then I'm replacing the 2 with a variable P to come up with the cost of P pounds. Okay, if you don't know what P is, you're going to substitute in the variable. So let's go. I'm going to save this. The cost of 2 pounds, we said, was $5.25. So I'm going to type that in. The cost of P pounds is 4P minus 2.75. Right. Does anyone have a question before I submit this and it disappears? Why I put those numbers in those boxes or how I came up with that? Okay. Next section. We read the problem. Aubrey wants to ride her bicycle 44 miles. She's already ridden 12. If she rides for 5 more days, write and solve an equation. So this to me, I see right away as one of those tape models. Let me show you what I mean. Here's my box. It says she wants to do 44 total for the week. She's already ridden 12. And she's got 5 more days left. So if I look at this, I can write my equation as 5x. Actually, you know what? Let's write it right in the box so that it matches. 5x plus 12 equals 44. If we solve this, we get 5x is equal to 32. Divide both sides by 5. X is equal to 6.4. It's a decimal there. All right, I'm going to save to photos. All right, at this point, if you're starting to feel bored, like this is so easy, that is a good thing. Really good thing, because it means that what we've been reading and doing with equations is starting to sink in. So if we want to rewrite that equation on there, it's 12 plus 5x is equal to 44. And we said the answer to this was, I believe, 6.4. Let's see if we're correct. And we got it right. Okay, this one's getting a little harder. Camilla has $780 to spend. She buys a bicycle. She buys 2 bicycle reflectors and a pair of gloves. She'd like to spend all money she has left to buy new biking outfits at $52.21 each. Now, here's the key. It says write an inequality to represent O, which is the numbers of outfits that she can buy. Okay. So I still like to start with a tape diagram. She has 780 total. So that's outside of here, right? That's the total amount. She buys a new bicycle for $430.81. Take a look. She buys 2 reflectors at $738 each. So I'm going to do 2 times 7.38. And she buys some bike gloves for 21 points. What was that? 17. Determine the number of outfits you can buy. You guys, Irvinka, you okay?
Yeah, so we're just gonna add all of those 3 numbers.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get there in a second. But then she also wants to buy, and this is the key right here, this. In this block box here, 52.21, it's 52.21x. Because we don't know how many outfits she can buy. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to write an equation that says, all right, I'm going to make this real big here. 430.81 plus 2 times $7.38 plus 21.17 plus, switch to blue, 52.21x has to be, and this is the key part that's next, all of that has to be less than or equal to 780. So yes, Ervinka, in your calculator, I'm gonna do it now for you. You're gonna type in 430.81. You're gonna add 2 times 7.38. You're gonna add 21.17, which is gonna give you 466.74. Okay. 4, 6, oh, let me erase that, switch colors, red. 466.74. Okay, but I still need to add to that the 52, 21x is less than or equal to 780. Okay, so since it said write an inequality, don't forget it says it right here, write an inequality. That's why I had to use the inequality symbol. Instead of an equal sign, it has to be less than or equal to the total amount of money. So now in my calculator, I'm going to type in 780 minus 466.74. And I got 313.26, which then I divide by 52.21. All the math is the same as the equation. And I get that x is less than or equal to 6 when I solve that. So over here, I use the letter X, they use the letter O. This has to be less than, oh, erase, less than or equal to 6. And I got that by taking the very last line and solving for X, subtracting 466.74 and then dividing. O is less than or equal to 6. So I'm done with this. The number of outputs less than or equal to 6. Let's see where we're at. Yay, we got it right. All right, let's do one more. Nevaeh pays a flat cost of $46.50 plus $5 per gigabyte. She wants to keep her bill under 55 per month. What's the maximum number of gigabytes she can use? Okay, but the key why this one is a little bit different is the fact that she can't pay for a partial gigabyte. If she needs 2.3, she has to pay for 3. So let's figure out how many gigabytes and decide if she's got to round down or not. Okay. So we know that she pays a flat fee of $46.50 plus 5 gigabyte. And she needs all of that to be less than or equal to 55. Okay. Absolutely, positively. It's not going to equal exactly 55. It's got to be less than or equal to that amount. So in her calculator or in yours, you would put in 55, subtract 46.50, hit enter, divide by 5, and I get 1.7. So the gigabytes she needs is less than or equal to 1.7. If she goes over to 1.8, it's going to take her over the $55. So how many gigabytes can she use? 1 or 2? 2 takes her over budget, so she can only use 1 gigabyte. So I'm going to put in a 1 and submit my answer. And we got it right. Be careful. Sometimes you can put in the 1.7. Sometimes you have to read the problem to understand that you cannot.